I think I know how to. I think I know some of this.
Good. You should know all of this. Good. You remember it pretty well?
Well, most of it,
Very
sort
good.
of. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So today we're going to do a little layers review in Adobe Illustrator for our Adobe ACA certification exam. ACA means Adobe for a certified associate. Adobe certified associate. I kind of made that sound weird. Okay. Right? A refresher wouldn't hurt. Indeed, Evan. Indeed. All right. So again, you're writing the word layers gigantic on the top of your notebook paper so that when you take the ACA, because you can use your notes, you can find, this category super easy. Today, we're going to talk about how to lock a layer, how to unlock a layer, how to unlock everything, all right, how to change the color of a layer. Fun fact, these are all test questions in the ACA, all right? You might get every single one of them, you might not, so. Also, how to rename a layer, how to make a new layer, how to merge two layers together, how to make a sub-layer, so a layer that's nested underneath another layer, how to reorganize layers, and also how to flatten a layer. This one, how to flatten a layer, is Mr. McFlubbins, if you remember him, the evil fish. Okay, that's how to flatten a layer. And if I missed anything, if there's something you remember about layers that I have skipped, please let me know. I feel like I got everything, and I also feel like I'm missing something. So we'll see. All right. So for this first one, we're going to talk about how to lock a layer. And I have the beautiful and marvelous, if you've never watched Game of Thrones, this isn't going to make sense, Daenerys Targaryen. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I made that. Look at me. Okay. This is obviously a WPAP.
He looks like fine candy.
All right. So in here, you can see my layers. All right. I did a great job and I organized all my layers. Look at that. Mwah. It's beautiful. All right. Now, if you look, there is an eyeball. Ooh, one thing we didn't talk about was how to hide a layer. So I feel like we should add that in. How to hide or show a layer. All right. Hopefully you guys weren't writing all those down and I just messed up your whole thing. Put it at the bottom. All right. So the very first thing is you guys have this eyeball. All right. If we open up our layers panel, of course, hopefully you know how to access your layers panel by now. If you do not, if you don't have it like preset in some type of workflow that you're working with, when in doubt, go to window, baby. Just about everything you need is in window. And then you can just go to layers and it'll pop up for you. All right, so how to hide a layer. You can see I have a layer hidden right here. All right, and I can tell because see how there's like an eyeball in every single one of these? There's no eyeball there, it's missing. So I hid that layer and now you can see it in the background if I toggle this layer on and off. And the reason I can see that it is because this hidden layer is above my background layer, okay? If I had it underneath, I probably wouldn't see it at all. Okay, so that is how to hide a layer. You go to that little eyeball and you can toggle that on or off. How to lock a layer, all right? You guys will see there are little things that look like locks right next to the eyeballs. Those layers are locked.
May I?
Try. Huh?
May I?
Oh, yeah, sure, please.
All right. Okay, so this one's pretty easy. There's two ways, but even then, so the main ways, like what I'm assuming this 4 was about to show was to lock a layer, you click on the empty square that locks it.
Boop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, that also reminds me, if you want to lock everything and not just one thing, you go to the very first or like the very first like layer, click on the lock, and then everything's locked.
Yeah. For
And
example, if I have like stuff underneath and I just click on the topmost version of that layer, it locks everything in that layer, correct?
and if you're at least I know how to do this for like I mean, yeah, you could actually do this for everything still with this method. If you're feeling too lazy to go to the layers menu, you can just rubber band and if you just want to select one thing, either that or if you want to select everything, I mean, if you want to lock everything, rubber band select the whole thing, and then either Command 2 or Control 2, depending on what type of PC you're using. For
Very
me, it's Control 2.
And you see how it doesn't show a lock on the top, but you notice after I hit, because I'm on a Mac, Command 2, notice how
Yeah.
everything is locked.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. And then yes, Control 2 if you are on a Windows computer. Now, how do I unlock all that?
I'm not sure how to do it with keys, but I know that like all you have to do is go to the layers menu and just click on the lock. That unlocks it.
You can, and I believe you can also drag select. So I'm just clicking and holding and then dragging to unlock all of these. So that's another option also to lock them.
Oh, that I
Right?
did not know. That's good. You see?
That's pretty
Yeah.
fun, right? You couldn't do that in 2018, but in 2020 and 2021, the updates you can. So yeah, you can just click and hold and drag and lock or unlock. Also, you had that really cool like Command 2 to lock them. Well, remember guys, like think about Command, of course, I'm talking for a Mac, or Control if you're Windows. Whenever you add Shift, it'll undo that. So just like we hit like Command Z or Control Z, Control Shift Z redoes, right? So if we want to lock, we Control 2, but if we want to unlock, what key do we add? Control what?
Shift.
And 2. Very
Shift.
good. Yeah, we'll just add Shift in there. So we can Control Shift 2. Oh, and nothing happened. Okay, maybe not. Control Shift 2. Nope, it's not doing it. Okay. Another thing that we can do to unlock all. Oh, see, I was right though. Shift Control 2. It just didn't do it for whatever reason. So what you can do is you can also, to unlock everything, go to Object, because you're going to unlock all the lock objects, right? So think about that. Not everything is always in window. Object, and then you'll just go to Unlock All, which the key is Control Shift 2 if you're on a Windows, Command Shift 2 if you're on a Mac. Why mine didn't work, I don't know. My computer just wanted me to look stupid because I didn't say it was pretty today. And then there you go, everything's unlocked. Okay. Could also have to do with the fact, honestly, that I was just in that one layer and not in all my layers. So that might do it too. Wonder if I selected every single layer. Okay, I just hit, this one was selected, and then I hit Shift on my keyboard and I selected that. Now let's see if I do Control Shift 2. Nothing happens. Okay. Object, and it won't let me unlock everything. Well, poop. I tried. Let's see. It will not let me.
Not all your layers are locked. That's why the top 2 aren't locked.
It should still work even though they're not all locked. Interesting. But anyways, I should be able to just kind of select my whole thing, hit Object, lock. It's not letting me unlock all. Okay, well, I thought that would be a nice quick way to do it, but I can also, with the new update, just go burp, and they're all unlocked. So that's kind of nice too. All right, so we can just either lock everything by going down like that, or unlock everything by going like that. It's really easy. Another thing, so we talked about how to lock and unlock a layer and how to unlock all, even though it didn't unlock everything in the world in there, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. How to hide or show a layer is that little eyeball we already talked about. Let's talk about how to change the color of a layer. Sometimes, you know, you're going to want a layer. So let's say I've got blue for this dragon's head. All right. And let's see, for the character's face, I have yellow. For the dress, I have pink. For one of her arms, it looks like it's orange. For the other arm, it looks like it's blue. So let's say that is just for some reason really distracting to me, and I do not want the layer color of that arm to be blue. I want it to kind of match a little bit with the orange on the other arm. Okay. There are certain times where things like that are important. It might not seem that way right now. Okay, so how we're going to do that in order to change some of the settings in the layer is you see this little thumbnail of the layer. You're just going to double click that. Click, click. All right. And right here, you can rename the layer if you would like to. Okay, so instead of maybe arm_right, I just want it to say right arm. Okay, so there's me changing the name of a layer. And changing the color, I can either do this drop-down menu. So maybe this one, I want it to be brown because I want it to kind of match with that orangey color that the other arm has, but still be different. All right. Another thing that you can do from here is you can lock the layer. Another thing, that is in the ACA exam that I did not put on our list is you can make it so certain layers do not show while you are printing. So let's say you have something in there, just like a guide. You just want something there, but you don't want it to show while it's printing, but you do want it to show while you're working on your project. Here in this layers option, there is a little check mark that says print. If you uncheck that, this arm now, this layer, will not show when the document prints, even though it's still there. So that's another important one. Alrighty? I'm gonna make sure I click that though, because if I print it later and her arm is not there, I'm gonna be really frustrated and wonder why the heck her arm's not showing up.
But she's been, I had a joke for this, hold up.
Something about the dragon eating her arm.
No, she's been unarmed.
Oh! Ba-doom-ching. Nice work, Carlos. I didn't even feel that one coming. Very good. All right, and then once you have those settings that you like, you just hit OK. And now you'll see the layer color has changed. It is still set to print because, you know, I made sure I didn't have a boo-boo later. And I did not lock it, so it's still unlocked. But if I hit lock, it would have been locked. Okay. All right, so next, change the color of a layer. By doing that, we already changed the name of the layer. How to make a new layer. All right, so how to make a new layer. When you're in here and you have your layers, all you have to do is go to the very bottom. And there's a little plus sign thing. It's always next to the trash can, no matter which version you're working in. And this is just a little plus sign, and I can, boop, create new layer. Keep in mind, the layer you create will always show up above the layer you were working on, okay? But if that isn't where you want it to be, you can also reorganize your layers and just click and drag it to another location. So that's how to reorganize your layers. You can just click and drag them, okay? Now, how to make a sub-layer. A sub-layer is like you want a whole other layer, but underneath and inside of the layer you already created. And if I hit right arm, so I select the layer I want the sub-layer to be inside of, I just go down here to create new sub-layer. Click. And then you'll see it has created a new sub-layer within this other layer. Okay.
What does the icon look like that you clicked on for the sub-layer?
Can you say that again?
What does the icon look like that you clicked on for the sub-layer?
Oh, it looks like, shoot, I wish I could zoom in. It looks like the same box with the plus sign in it, but it has like a little drop-down arrow. Here, let me draw it really big on a piece of paper. Oh no, I left my pen uncapped. No, can't do that with a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. Not like a freaking $5 pen. It looks like this. Can you see that? Some of you guys can't see anyone's cameras on. You can just see icons. So I'm sorry if you can't see the picture of this. So that is your create a sublayer. Cool. Okay. Another way that you can create a new sublayer is, let's say here, this layer 13 that I have, I want this to be a sublayer. So all I have to do is click and drag it and put it on top. You can see how I'm holding it over the right arm layer and then just drop it and there it is. Okay, that is another way to make a sublayer. All right, let's say I want a sublayer of a sublayer. Well, I can just take that. I don't have other layers that I can input it into. Well, yeah, if I have another layer that's already a sublayer, I can just drop it into that, and then you'll see here's another sublayer. Cool? Okay, so we know how to lock, we know how to unlock, we know how to hide, we know how to show. We know how to double click on the icon, click, click, and change the name, the color, and to hide it for print so it doesn't show up when it's time to print it. Okay, maybe I'll do that with this layer right here with my reference picture. Double click on the icon and make sure that it does not show while it's printing. Because it's hiding, it won't let me do that. So let's see, let's show it again. Double click. Uncheck the print button, hit OK, and then I can hide it. So either way, if I accidentally maybe turn on show, it won't show when it's printing. Okay. How to rename a layer, how to make a new layer, how to merge layers. All right, so let's talk about how to merge layers next. How to merge a layer. First of all, your layers need to be unlocked in order for you to merge them. Okay, or else they're not going to merge. Let's say the arm left and the right arm, I would like to merge those. So I'm just going to click one and then the other. Then I'm going to go to Zip and Cake on the top right-hand corner of my Layers tab. And I'm just going to go to Merge Selected. Now, I might need to actually click these little buttons here, these little, you see the blocks, and highlight them, and then merge selected, and you'll see they have turned now into one layer. They are both the same color now. All right, those layers are now merged. Cool. And I want to experiment. I want to see if I don't have them selected and I just highlight them, what happens. Let's see. Merge selected. It still does it. So you could even just highlight them. You don't even have to make sure that you click the actual objects in there. You can just highlight the layer and it'll merge them. All right. Make a sublayer, how to reorganize layers, and how to flatten a layer. Oh, the dreaded McFlubbins. Okay. So obviously, the first thing that you'll need to do is you'll need to make sure everything's unlocked. Right? So this is how to flatten a layer. And it does say in the actual exam question, it says the word flatten, which is the dead giveaway. You're going to flatten a layer because it's telling you to flatten a layer. What flatten a layer means is there will be no groups or subgroups. There will be no, everything will just be a flat one layer. Why you would want to do this? Because we spend so much time on organizing your layers. Why the heck would you just want to have everything not layered? Sometimes, especially when it comes to making animations, there's certain things that you're not going to want layer organized. You're going to want them free moving. So there's certain points in time where it's really important to have all your layers flattened, okay? We don't really use flattened layers that much, but there comes a time. So how to flatten your layers. First, go ahead and select all your layers, right? And all I did is click one, and then I shift and clicked the last one. And then again, we're gonna go to the pancake on the top of that layers panel. And check that out, yo. There's one that says flatten artwork. What? All right, so you just click flatten artwork. Now, sometimes this works great. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm using Adobe 2021, so it should work perfectly. We shall.
This is great and all, but Miss Poor, I hope you notice that you only have like 14% of battery on your Mac.
Thank you.
You might want to charge it.
I know every time I look at the top of the layer subgroup, I'm like, oh, I'm running out of battery. And see, this is the sad thing. The wire's right here. Like, here, let me plug it in before I forget. Okay. Yay, charging. Okay, so you hit the button that says flatten artwork. Okay, and then it says, oh, hidden layer contains artwork. Do you wish to discard the hidden art? Yeah, I kind of do. I don't really care. Hit yes. Boom. There you go. Okay, everything has moved into one layer. Now, you'll notice Mr. McFlubbins asks you the question with the fish, which who knows, it'll probably be something different this year. It asks you to make sure there are no groups or subgroups. So after you flatten your layers, you need to double check and make sure that there are no groups or subgroups. And you can tell by these little arrows. Do you see this arrow here on the bottom? Yep, see I have this clipping mask here. So it made a subgroup, all right? And then on the very top, I also added in my signature, which again made another group. So I gotta make sure I have no groups or subgroups. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit the uppermost button here, make sure everything has that button checked and see how it's all on one lovely layer with my favorite color. Woo-hoo. And what I'm gonna do, exactly, Hunter. We're just gonna Control Shift and G spam until it's gone. Probably 2 or 3 will be enough. Command, because I'm on a Mac, for you, Control Shift G G G G G, and let's check it out. That is no longer grouped, and that one still is. So I'm gonna G G G G G. I didn't get rid of it, probably because it's a clipping mask. So that's my bad. And this is the exact, I'm kind of honestly happy that it's screwing up like this, because this is what happens with Mr. McFlubbins. I don't think it's going to release the clipping mask. We could always select the clipping mask, control click, and release the clipping mask, but then, you know, I'm not gonna see that, and then I can control GGG. Because it's a clipping mask, it's not gonna do it. Okay. So important to know, so you don't waste time or clicks. If it's a clipping mask, it's not going to undo. But yes, to get rid of all of your groups and to fix and flatten all of your layers, you're going to Control Shift and G. And I'm trying to get all my layers back. There they are. Okay. Cool. Let's see. What else do we need to go over? Organize layers and flatten a layer. That is it. That's it for layers, ladies and gentlemen. Sound good?
Is flattening a layer is so, like, it makes my anxiety go through the roof. Like, that just made my whole anxiety go poof. And I was like,
I don't know why, but it does it for me too. I was at the Adobe Max conference, and there was this really cool video of this lady making like a little design for an animation, just a little animation. And she's like, next thing you'll have to do is flatten the layers. And I was like,
makes me nervous because they're all in one layer, and it makes my like anxiety go up. Because like if something happens to that layer, everything's just gone.
Yeah, and all the beautiful organization and time that you spent it, like it's all gone. Like what is the point? I don't understand. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There is your whole demo for anything layers. All right. And we took about half an hour because I do believe the morning announcements took about 15 minutes. So that's perfect. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing on that screen.
I thought the morning announcement took 30 minutes.
Did it really?
It just feels